Yeah, and welcome. We got a long time channel favorite, even though that you don't come over, even though you live down the street.
I know. Well, you always ask in such a mean way.
Yeah, right? Get over here, you loser.
This is you hoser.
This is Shawn Tubbs, and if you guys do not know who he is, brace yourself. He's one of the most terrifying guitar players you'll ever see in your life. And he'll say he's not, but he is. Don't listen to him. Go watch it.
And I ain't.
Go watch his demo videos. They're frightening. But anyways, we've got something kind of cool. I was like, when you first called me, and you told me, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to, because, and let me, this is backstory. We're talking about a pedal here, but like, the first time I knew Shawn was like, I think I was 16 years old. And he worked at Boogie, and he was the guy that had all the big killer rack gear, the like 27 space PCM 90. Mm-hmm. So point being is you've always known what good sound is. So when you brought your own pedal into fruition, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Oh man, well it's funny, it's like, I kind of giggle back then. It's like, well, I know what a bunch of cool blinking lights are. And I always made sure they were blinking a certain way.
Right.
Man, those rack days. Wow.
Don't you wish you still had all that stuff?
I sure do. I honestly do. I wouldn't want to haul it around.
No, but you got a studio. Just keep it in the house.
Honestly, yeah, those were the days, man.
Yeah. So you got a Rev pedal. It's called Tilt.
Yes.
And by the way, before we get started, we're playing through, this is the D20, is that what?
Yes.
Okay, so give me a quick backstory of this thing.
Yeah, so the D20 was developed first and foremost to be like a really great pedal platform amplifier.
Okay.
That was the idea. We wanted it to kind of have like an American style voice. So think, black panel fenders kind of thing. 6v6 power section.
Nice.
My favorite tubes ever.
Yeah.
12AX7, obviously preamp section. Nails that. It does have the capability to break up like if you wanted to break up like an old basement cranked, it'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's got that type of voicing. It goes from 20 watts down to 4 watts, which is really cool. And you can bark through a cab all day long. It's going to be about the same volume as like a deluxe would be on stage.
Yeah, because this is direct. We're running direct right now.
You're hearing this direct.
Killer.
Yeah. So the other side of it is it's got the 2 notes embedded technology.
Oh, nice.
So it's got a reactive load in there.
Okay.
And IR technology, so you can have up to like I think 120.
What's that? If people don't know what IR is?
Impulse response.
Okay.
So with 2 notes, it's actually called DynIR, like dynamic response, because you can actually go in and move the microphones around and re-angle them.
Okay.
And that's all within, so just think of it as modeling. Modeling on the
like
back
a
end.
speaker and a mic model of a cabinet
exactly,
or something.
Okay. Yeah. So the big deal with us was we want to play through glass. That's been my thing. It's like, I got to play through glass. I got to play through tubes. If I'm going to model, I prefer to model on the back ends. So the cabinets. And even on this, you can model power amps if you want. You can turn off this power section and model, like EL84s or 34s or KTs. Yeah. If you want
that's amazing.
That type of sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally just love the way this amp feels with the 6Vs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really what that was meant to be. It only weighs 9 pounds. So you can take it
it's crazy.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
And like in this case, I showed up and you plugged an XLR cable in and we were,
it's a sound man's dream.
To the races, yeah.
So you got like coffee shop gigs, church gigs, small clubs, like people just gotta love you.
Yeah, fly dates.
That's right, I didn't even think about that.
And it's really great for the player too because, especially when you're doing fly dates, you never know what you're gonna end up with. And then on top of that, you don't know what the mics are gonna be like. Are you gonna put a 57? Is it gonna be something weird?
Yeah.
In this case, it's like, no, you've already dialed it in. It's gonna sound exactly the same no matter where you go, especially if you're on an in-ear gig.
Yeah.
Because in-ears can be misery.
Oh,
and then
totally.
On top of that, if you're playing through an amp that's been through the ringer with a broken 57 on it, it's just, it's kind of a booger.
Yeah.
So this basically solves all those problems.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's a really, really cool amp.
Shawn's had a little bit of live playing experience. He played with this kind of, I would say, underground country artist, Carrie Underwood. Played a couple stages in your life, probably.
She's real good now. I think she's. I think everybody's figured her out.
She's got like 50 seaters.
But yeah, I really wish that would have been around.
Yeah.
Because I stopped touring with her in late 2017.
Yeah.
So I was with her for well over a decade.
Yeah.
And I wish, when they developed that, I was like, oh my gosh, if that would have been around when we had to do flyouts, we couldn't take gear, and I could have just showed up with that, my pedal board, XLR cable.
Oh my
Front of house is happy, monitors are happy, I'm happy because there's no surprises.
Right.
There's like, why does my guitar sound like this?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Which has got to be fun when you're in front of a bajillion people and you're like, oh, my sound totally sucks. How inspiring.
Yeah, you're there to represent the artist and you're like, I am representing nothing.
Everything wrong in guitar right now.
Yeah, nothing good is coming of this.
So are these presets? Is that what that is?
Yes. So I kind of designed the presets for this so you can...
Wait a second. Like you personally did this?
Yeah, the guys had me basically take, the dyne IRs, like pick the cabinets, pick the mics, and make those like the stock presets. So, I always love, like a Selly, whether it's it could be a Vintage 30, it could be a Creamback, whatever. I tend to lean towards Sellys, and then I like using like Royer 57 combos.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's really what that is. So you get stock presets that I came up with. So 4x12, 2x12, 1x12. And then the in-between settings, because there's 6, I just basically added a little bit of reverb, because you can add digital reverb within the software on this amp if you want.
No way.
Yeah, now the nice thing is, the reason we did that is so you wouldn't have to show up with a computer to decide, I want to use a 1x12 for this, not a 4x12.
Yeah.
So you can literally just throw it, wherever you need it. But the nice thing is you can load your own IRs, third-party IRs, and you can program it so you can have 6 IRs on the front that you can just choose between.
Way.
Then of course via MIDI you can have like 120 something.
No way.
Which is way out of like.
Yeah.
For me, it's like
Tweakerville.
Yeah,
it's too many options.
Give me a couple cabs. I'm good. Otherwise, my little brain will just stop.
Just step on buttons again.
Yeah. But that was the idea, is just to be able to like, oh man, I need a 2x12 with an off-axis mic for this. And just click it over. And you're done.
Yeah. See, you know what you're talking about there. What? And then the loop, we have the little flint going through.
So that's where you're hearing the reverb. Yeah. It's kind of
sounds great.
Yeah, I've got it dialed subtle, but
the
effects loop in it works great. That was the other thing I loved too. It's like, man, I just want to be able to plug an effects loop in and not have it have something weird happen.
And have it suck.
Yeah, this thing it's killer for that. So yeah, effects loop on the back. It's pretty much it's like that workhorse problem solver amplifier.
Home studio too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, like I said, live, if you want to honk through that thing, and live you can run it through a cab and direct. You can do anything you want. With it. But live, if you just want to honk through a 1x12, like I said, it's got about the same volume as like a deluxe would have. So
and headphones too.
Yeah, headphone out if you want to play that way, and then that level control is not only for the headphone out, but it's also the XLR out.
Oh no way!
It basically controls the volume of the software out.
Dude.
So headphones are killer, because that's the thing. You can sit with headphones, get it dialed in pre-gig, so it's like, oh no, I got to have this sound. Right when you get to the hotel, plug in headphones, dial it in, and show up, and you're ready to go.
You guys freaking thought of everything.
Yeah. So
give that guy a high five. All right. So the reason for the season, Tilt. What do we got? Like, give me an idea of like what you were thinking of when you want an overdrive pedal. Like, let them hear it. They're gonna be like, dude, why are you guys talking so much? Play something.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me.
It's really clear sounding too.
Exactly. That's what the amps that I fell in love with, I had the pleasure of playing a lot of amps because I was working at the Mesa shop. So cats were showing up with Dumbles and old Tweed Twins and AC30s and all this stuff.
Tweed Twin. God.
Oh, isn't that great?
That's so good.
And I would plug into them. These are basically, for the most part, single channel non-master volume amplifiers. Yeah. So you just, you crank them up.
Real
and they sound so, so quiet, whisper volumes. But, they're so expressive and so dynamic.
Yeah.
And for me, when I was speaking with Dan Trudeau, who is the head designer, that was what I was trying to capture. It's a sound that I love. It's a feel that I dig, and it's usually based around those kind of vintage, all the way back to little tweed boxes too, because they feel killer.
Yeah.
So with Dan and I, it's like, well, how do we cram all of that into an overdrive? Like, how do we just kind of stir that pot?
Yeah.
And just kind of have an amalgamation, and that's pretty much what this is. But the main thing is the dynamics was a big deal for me. So. Playing really soft, it does what a really nice single channel tube amp would do.
Yeah.
If I dig in, it'll break up.
Dude.
But it gets so smooth, and then if I hit it with a humbucker, it'll bark, but I can still
Wow.
You know. And still just dig in. And the way it's styled right now, it's like, I consider this a medium gain pedal. I don't play with a ton of gain, you know what I mean? It's like I will if someone pays me.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
here's an extra $50, turn it up real hard, man.
Man, make that thing distorted. But it does, you know, if you just crank the gain all the way up.
It sounds bigger too, like it gets...
Yeah, it does get bigger.
Holy smokes.
And you know, it's great, you know, if you want to do the goofball too many note thing, you can do that. But you know,
it was great. I'm going to cut you off for a second. Before we were just talking a little bit. He's like, man, you know, I try to do these things and my left hand just doesn't work anymore. Whatever, dude.
It did that one time.
Okay,
so lots of gain on tap. From the perspective of if you think this is just like a medium gain pedal, it does a little bit more than that, just gain wise.
It's still super clear though, even like up high.
And really, that's a Dan Trudeau thing. Okay. I mean, I wanted that, but I knew that Dan...
That's hard to get.
Yes, Dan instinctively, that's Dan's thing.
Way to go, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. So I knew I wouldn't have to say, hey, Dan, can you make sure it's got some clarity?
Right, exactly.
You know, that's
I want it all to sound like a big wall of mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yep. But yeah, that's the main thing. So even with that much gain, if I play something bigger, you can hear all those notes.
Yeah. You know, that guitar sounds great too. Jeez.
Yeah, I do love. I had this sucker for a long time.
It's got some love in there.
It does. Yeah, it's really great guitar. These, I don't know if guys are hip to it's an SSV in the back, which is like a brighter humbucker.
Yeah.
And it's got a little bit more bark to it. I mean, it's not like crazy bright, like.
Yeah.
But it's not
stringy.
Like it's not like a dark humbucker.
Yeah.
It's stringy and it blends better with singles. So if I roll back, I don't have like this overwhelming, like way too much mid or way too much push.
Right.
But these are the MLs.
Okay.
And
is that all Shure pickups?
This is all Shure, yeah. And I think they still do these. There's these, and I think there's.
Oh, is that Mike Landau?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, because I've never listened to Mike.
Yeah. Slouch.
Just some guy named Mike Landau. Never heard of him, but his pickups sound great.
Dude.
Yeah, he's a nut.
Doesn't know tone either.
No, he's not really. You don't listen to Mike Landau for tone
necessarily. He's a freaking loser.
But anyways, yeah, the guitar, you know, good guitar.
We got ninja switches and the whole other side too.
So okay, so let me put this thing back to, you know, I mean, I usually like it about their gain wise. If you think about like my tuner's going to shut off the plate. If you think about it, like that's not
tuner boost.
That amp is not breaking up, right?
Yeah.
A little bit if I really hit it.
Yeah.
But it breaks up pleasantly. So for me, with an amp that's dialed like that, that's about the amount of gain I want.
Yeah.
And it's really right now just kind of more, you know, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But if I needed to do something else, I can do that. But that's where I like to start. And then on this side, Dan and I definitely did some work on that because everybody loves like running a boost, so like a micro amp or any type of boost, especially if it's a one knob boost. It sounds so good into the front of it, either an overdrive or even an amp.
Yeah.
But what happens is you start cranking that up. You start getting all these weird anomalies in the low end, or sometimes your top end takes off, or your amp's just like, hey man, this is too much.
Yeah.
So I wanted it. Yeah, I wanted this because it is medium gain to be able to saturate a little bit more. So it's a 12 dB boost on this side, totally clean boost.
Yeah.
But it has a tilt EQ, and Dan and I basically put that together to address those things.
Okay.
Like, you know, if you start cranking, it gets too boomy, or you start, you know, and then it goes well beyond that. Like you can completely revoice how something sounds by using the tilt EQ.
Well, which is great because depending on what kind of circuit or amp you play out of, they all have their own particulars.
Or what pedal you're hitting, impedance, all that stuff can change. And so you can tweak it in. So like right now, let me see what it's doing. So So right now I've got it set up just to do what I just call more.
Yeah.
Right. So this is not a transparent thing. There's no like center detent for no, for flat response.
Oh, okay.
Like there's no frequency up or down. But this is what I would consider the way it's at right now, where that's at about 3 o'clock, the tilt EQ. That's fairly close to what I would consider neutral.
Yeah.
But it's really not meant to be neutral. But in my case, when I just want more, I can, and then there's, my solo. Oh.
That thing sounds freaking awesome.
Even with me playing it. But, okay, so that's a good starting point.
Okay.
So, as you start cranking boost, like we'll go, that was just really, at about 9 o'clock. So just not almost unity, just a little bit of boost. But if we go to like noon. So now we're getting, it sounds great, sounds big, and sometimes that works, but maybe in a track now that's too much low end, but I want that saturation. That's where this switch comes into play, because instead of changing this, because if I change this, it's going to change the low end and top end. If I don't want to touch this tone stack at all, then I can throw this, what's called a tight switch, to cut some lows.
Cut some of that booty.
Yeah. Man, you got to get some of that can out of it.
Too much junk in that trunk, boy.
Man, that's a big can.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait.
Okay, so check out,
Yeah.
So also what it does is it gives you, it's not boosting mids, but it will give you the perception of more mids because you're cutting lows.
Yeah.
But we haven't touched where this is all sitting, and that's why that's there. Now,
this does tighten it up, though.
Absolutely. That's why it's great. There. Yeah. And you can go the other way if you don't like, we can go back to center. If you want to subtly cut low end, then go up, and it'll subtly cut it out without so much, because it won't change as much.
Sure.
But that's why that's there, and that's a massive workflow thing for me, where, I'll be, at a session or even at my desk. It's like when I'm in a musical moment where something, and I'm like, it's like I'm in it, but it's like, oh man, it's too much low end.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
that thought goes
walk
through
over the amp, and
That's when you know you're a real player.
I got to go over the amp and either turn, and I got to step out of that moment. To do it. And I was actually talking to another session guy the other day. He was like, oh, God, it's so cool. Because that's the thing. It's like, okay, too much low end. It's like, I just throw a switch and I'm there. It's like, that's what I needed. I can stay within my flow. So that was a big workflow thing. And also, I didn't want to mess with tone stacks. As you start changing things.
Everything changes. So, okay, so that's how that's working. The other side of it is that tilt EQ. So this is kind of neutral, right? As I start rolling left, it's going to cut lows and add highs. Okay.
All the way over to almost treble booster territory. And then if you cut the lows out of it.
That's awesome.
It's like a treble booster. So you can use it to just brighten up your solos. So if this is your rhythm, and then back to your, so it's killer. And so it's not, it's once again, it's so kind of workhorse driven. It's like, do you want it to be neutral and just have everything fit, or do you want to actually have it boost highs? Or in this case, if we just use the boost side, like this is a really nice sounding amp, but what if I just want, something else? So you can just run that side and maybe brighten it up a little bit, maybe not quite so much boost. So now you got all this top end.
Wow, that's
the session fixer. It's like, this sounds great. This sounds really great.
Totally.
And the thing is, it feels really good too. It still it doesn't get like strident in feel or too like immediate, which was another thing that was, really.
It sounds real.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Hey man, this thing sounds real,
exactly.
real.
No, but it does. It's like, everyone's amp like is overused, but it actually really does.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting you say that, because that was the biggest thing between Dan and I that I kept reiterating is I don't want this to be an amp in a box.
Yeah.
I want it to feel like an amp, but I don't want it to be that. And I'm not disparaging amp in a box.
No, totally. I mean, it has a place.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a sound that's so great, but for me, it's like it needs to feel like all these old amps, but it can't be like an amp in a box.
Sure.
And even like just murdering the front end of this thing, if I just want to hit the front of that, now I can do that too.
Yeah.
And then if I need that to be brighter, maybe more of a Marshall thing, it's like, once again,
that's a great sound, man.
Yeah, once again, it's like workflow. It's like I didn't have to get up and touch this and change that whole thing. Yeah. All I did was turn this on, tilt to the left.
Super versatile little rig too.
Oh yeah, just this and this.
Oh my gosh. Delay pedal, you're done.
Yeah, get away quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, you gotta have tremolo for here, but close enough.
If you live here, yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Thank you, man. It'd be weird if I didn't like it.
Yeah. My signature sock pedal.
Yeah. You can put it on your board?
Yeah.
Nah.
Not really.
It's not really my thing.
Exactly.
But no, thank you. Dan and I, we worked really hard on it.
No, man, it sounds like it. How long did it take to get it right?
We actually moved fast.
Yeah.
But it took about a year.
Okay.
Yeah. About a year from.
Well, he's not here, right?
Exactly. So there was a lot of back and forth files and text messages and phone calls. And then once all this stuff started mellowing out a little bit, I was able to get out there.
Yeah.
And that was great, because Dan's one of those guys, he's like, just let me hear it.
Yeah.
And he's also one of those guys where he'll look at you while you play.
Sure.
And look at your attack, and he hears everything, and then he just there's like a poof of smoke, and he disappeared.
Yeah. I'll be back.
Yeah, and then he comes back, try this,
Yeah.
So once once I was able to do that, especially on this side of it, there were things that I was, because this was really intuitive between Dan and I, but on this, there were things I was really specific about, and it really helped to just be face to face with Dan, going, okay, hear that? Mm-hmm. Can we do more of that, or maybe less of that?
Sure.
And just to be able to do that in real time was
the cut feature's really, really cool, because boost pedals usually just do that. They just boost everything.
Yes. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
All right. Well, as you heard, he definitely does not suck on guitar. So for all you people who love monster players, Shawn Tubbs. Shawn Tubbs. You got an album too, don't you?
Well, yeah, the little Demolition record. Yeah. That's on Bandcamp. If you guys want to support me.
Get some lighter fluid. You want to burn your guitars.
Come on.
But anyways, make sure you check out his demo channel too. He has lots of killer demos, but just really, really, really fantastic guitar player. Tons of knowledge. Hit him up. Demand he do more stuff, because this is like right here, one of the most talented cats you'll ever gonna see on the guitar world. He's gonna say no, but trust me, everybody in town's like, oh my God, Shawn Tubbs, Jesus.
How about no?
So anyways, give him an excuse to tell everybody all of his secrets, because man, some of that stuff, I'm gonna keep you here. So I'm gonna do another video with him since he's here. But anyways, this is his stuff. That amp sounds killer, by the way. Tilt pedal, I've played it. That's actually mine. It's awesome. All right, so check it out. You guys are amazing. I'll leave Shawn's links down below in the description box, so make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. Thank you so much, sir. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brett.